Hello guys, welcome to Clancys Reviews. Big fat hand thumbs up to Paul Green at work. He asked me to do it, so there you go, Paul. Right, on to serious business. We've got the Sapphire RX 480 to test. It's the 8GB version. It comes with GDDR5. I've not opened it yet, so I'll do that in a minute. Stick it in my computer, have a little play, see what's what, and we'll get down to some business. We'll play a few games, see what the frame's like, see if it's capable of 1440p or if it's 1080p only. Give it a good test. I don't really know what's what. Have a listen to the sound and what noise it makes basically, and we'll do a quick recap, quick show, and I'll do a full review in a week and a bit's time. Don't like to rush these things, so I like to have a good play of them first before calling my shots fully, but you can get a first impressions look, so we'll get straight into that now. Right, so before we get put it in the computer, we'll have a quick look at the card. Here she is. No back plate. Pretty basic reference cooler. We all understand that. Quite a nice design, to be fair. Quite solid feeling, so fan will do its job. It's cheap and cheerful, and that's why the price is nice and cheap and cheerful. If we look on the connectors, we can see we've got one HDMI and 3 DP connectors. Not a lot going on the underneath really. We've got the extension here. You can see the length of the PCB comes to here. One 6-pin connector as standard. Should draw no more than 150 watts with the 75 watts on the PCI Express slot and 75 watts for the 6-pin. So should keep it in the realms there. Right, back on to that game testing. Right, okay, the first game I tried was Rise of the Tomb Raider, one of my favourite games of late. It's a very pretty game, very demanding, let's be fair. It's one of the most demanding games we've been treated to for a little while, so what better way to test the RX 480 than Rise of the Tomb Raider. I did try this on 1440p, but it was really a no-show. If I used FXAA, it crashed on me. It doesn't like FXAA with the RX 480. SMAA was fine, no AA was fine as well. Still not really playable frame rates if I'm honest at 1440p, but 1080p no problems at all. You see the settings I've got here, which is fully maxed out and running SMAA on ×1, so it's got a bit of SMAA there just to try and help the jaggies a bit. Very pretty game. Frames are very good, more than playable. It's not a twitch shooter, so you don't need ultra high frames, and performance was pretty good, no problems at all. We'll go to the next scene and then we'll cut this one short. I've done a little roundup with an Excel chart as people asked me to do an all-in-one, but as you can see, it's like jaggy edges just on the left there, but nothing really to worry about, and pretty stunning. Frames are more than playable, so a plus there for this. Moving on quickly, we've got Sniper Elite V3. This one came with mantle, I believe, although I couldn't choose mantle in the options. I thought I might do for a bit of fun, but I couldn't see it there in the options. I might be missing something, but it didn't really matter. But 1080p again, all the settings fully maxed out, including super sampling ×4, which is 4K. So yeah, as you can see, you've got some decent frames there, 52.4. You don't need super high frames for these style of games. Anything around the sort of 50-60 is fine, in my opinion. That is, some might disagree with me, but I'm an old man, so I'm not too fussy. The average frames for this was 47.6. We'll round that up to 48 for argument's sake. But yeah, more than happy there. No problems whatsoever. Just to show quickly what problems I was having with some of the games. Here we have Batman Arkham Knight. Running through the benchmark, the game is the same as well. I could get a couple of minutes into the game. Once I got 5 minutes in and it crashed. Another time I was like under a minute and it crashed. But trying to run the benchmark just for results purposes really. So I thought I'll get through the benchmark, show the results, and crash. So a bit disappointing there really, but never mind. Hopefully that'll get sorted. There you go, crashed, and that was about the third time that had happened, so very disappointing. Right, not to be deterred, I carried on. Fired up Thief, didn't bother choosing Mantle, although that was an option. Just went straight with DX11 and thought we'll see how this performs. So pay attention and we'll have a little look-see. So, on to my favourite game of the moment, which is Tom Clancy's The Division. 1080p, as per usual. Everything not set to max, actually. I've just chosen the Ultra default. There's other bits you can push up fully, but I didn't bother. I just thought I'd go with the Ultra default and run this at 1080p and see what the frames were. Very playable, fantastic looking game. Not as demanding, which is quite surprising from Ubisoft. So yeah, really impressed with the frames here. I'll let this run a little while and then we'll get my chart up and have a look at some overall bench results. Right, so quick recap. We've got Rise of the Tomb Raider, 56 frames per second. Sniper Elite V3, 47.6. Bioshock Infinite, 118. Alien Isolation was a fail. Ashes was a fail. Batman Arkham Knight was a fail. Thief, 75 frames per second. The Division 55.1 and Hitman 2016 was 66, so not too bad there in frames at all. Right, let's go to my summary, and I'll see you a bit later. Okay, so that's a bit of early testing. My first thoughts are somewhat disappointed really. I've had a lot of crashing in games. I've been out and run a few benchmarks, get through them, but I tried Ashes of the Singularity, that crashed out. I tried Batman Arkham Knight, tried that a couple of times, it crashed out. It completed a few of the benchmarks. Let's have a look here. Rise of the Tomb Raider crashed out when I used FXAA. Sniper Elite V3 worked fine, Bioshock Infinite worked fine, Alien Isolation crashed. I said Ashes. So yeah, overall slightly disappointing really for early testing. I was hoping to get through. I played 20 minutes of The Division. That was fine, that played okay. But let's look at this card objectively. It's a 1080p card. I've tried it 1440p. You have to lower the settings a bit too much really, but for 1080p you can have pretty much all the settings fully maxed out, so it's not too bad there. Yeah, I am a little bit disappointed. It's only £220, let's be fair, but nobody wants to mess about with crashing, nobody, and too many crashes. So whether it's drivers or the card, it's hitting 85 degrees centigrade at max, which is okay, I don't mind that. That's more than tolerable. The fan noise isn't intrusive, I can put up with that quite comfortably. No problems there at all. It's yeah, I can't give it a big fat hand thumbs up, I'm afraid, but for a 1080p gamer it's going to be fine, and they will sort it out and the crashing will stop. But for me, yeah, slightly disappointed there, so I'm going to give it an average score this time. So yeah, I shall give it further testing, and hopefully some new drivers come out which sort things out, and I shall try it in VR and see how things go there later on. But this is my early review. It's not a full review, it's just an early test and review, and the full review will be about a week and a half, 2 weeks perhaps. But I'm keeping the card, going to see how it performs later on and down the line, and we'll revisit it at some point later on. So look for my review in a couple of weeks, my full review, and hopefully things will be a lot better then, and I can give it a big thumbs up. But for the moment it's a bit of a thumbs down. Thanks for watching.